This one's a big one for me. So I just finished writing the details on it, and I realized that the selfless part of this, maybe it's selfish too, is that the reason why we go on a wisdom gathering quest is it's an act of love. It's an act of love because it says it's we're honoring this gift of our life and the knowledge that we've gathered through our experiences and through the choices we made about what we were going to learn about and how we were going to apply that knowledge and how our skills have developed over time. We're honoring this creation, this divine force that brought us here to planet Earth at this time to to do something to do something with this gift that we've been given. Our life is a gift. And so to take the time to reflect, to gather up this wisdom and possibly share it in a new way, in a new form, collect it, gather it, and then distribute it to who knows who, friends, family, community members, maybe just one person. Doesn't matter. You taking the time to connect with you is a beautiful thing and deserves respect, honor. It's an honor to go on this quest. It's an honor for me to get to go on this quest with you, to help to guide it, to guard you so that and facilitate this experience, create the safe container in which you get to find yourself again, perhaps find yourself and your dreams for the very first time. It's a gift, this discovery quest. So, some of what I'm talking about today, or we're talking about today, is it's been gathered through my years of experience as a body worker and what I've learned from touching thousands of people's bodies, all about the information stored in our bodies. And that it feels better when we get to release some of the tension that we hold in our physicality, in our nervous system. So we get to release that um, when we're in the confident and competent hands of a trained body worker or someone who provides conscious caring touch because they're conscious. But there's other ways to do it. And the work that I've been doing with Dr. Russ Kennedy has been an affirmation of my intuition and my research and development of my own skills. But this affirmation about how we store information in our body. Now, information is an interesting term. I got to study with a Master Sun Qiwan and Master Wang Taiyanbi Qigong masters from Beijing, China, many years ago. And Master Sun was asked, he was with a room full of people who already had acupuncture practices and Qigong and Tai Chi practices. And somebody asked him to give the definition of Qigong. And he wanted to know, or Qi, he wanted to know from the group what their thoughts on it were. And many people said energy. And that was really the consensus that Qi is energy. But Master Sun had been through the Cultural Revolution, and part of the Cultural Revolution was to really squash anything that had to do with spirituality. And if you know about the background of acupuncture or not five elements theory, excuse me, TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. Sounds like it's traditional and has been going on for a long time, right? No, that came up during the Cultural Revolution after killing off any as much as they could around the spiritual side of where the tradition came from. And so he learned to speak about the energy in a different way. And he used the term information. He said that information is stored in our brain and stored in our body. Actually, information is stored in each one of our organs, and each organ has its own unique story to tell about the information that's stored there. So I won't go any further into that, but just to understand when I speak about how energy or information is stored in the body, that's kind of where I'm coming from. Dr. Russ has a little bit of a different take on how energy is stored in the body. He talks about the inner child or our younger self and how it gets marked in the body, and the amygdala, which never forgets. First of all, that is in that part of our brain, and it doesn't have a sense of time either. The amygdala doesn't have a sense of time, and it's like this marker in the brain. It doesn't forget. So, but the information is also stored in our body, and so what we can do is we can go into the body when the alarm lights up because of, something has happened to cause you to fear, to pull you into a depression, to cause you anxiety, and your body's lighting up in these ways. Part of the practice is to identify the qualities of the alarm. That's helpful. And then the second is to just touch the alarm. I was getting alarm the other day in my arms. And so just touching the alarm and soothing the alarm was helpful. And again, we were doing this as a group practice. And so I'm being supported by others also following along. And it's an interesting process. So, getting this information out of our body and out of our brain, the good, it sounds so crazy because we want to feel the good. So, we find places in our body that feel good, right? That we can go to in our body as well when we're in alarm. So, we soothe the alarm and then we go to the places with our breath where our body is comforted. That's a, a big piece of the practice. And working with Russ has been helpful because it reminded me of the wisdom that I have in my body from all these different places that I'd sort of forgotten about and hadn't been using in a while. So, one of the things that we're going to do early on in our wisdom gathering quest is look to you about what resources you have. This is the gathering the resources again, or assessment of resources, however I phrased that before. This is looking to you about what has worked for you in the past and giving you those tools again, because it's easy when we're in angst and crisis or frustrated or worked up or worried about the world to forget what tools we have within us. And so, just like Dr. Russ did for me, we'll be doing that in the wisdom quest for you. And lastly, I'm going to leave this. It's a little bit of a hypothesis, hypothesis, because I've watched myself. The more that I share my work with the world, I've been losing weight. It's been an interesting thing. And I don't know if there's a real correlation there, but I'm curious about it. So, um, I want you to think about the possibilities of that as you lighten up with all the density of information in your body. Is it possible that you will get stronger, more svelte? I think this is especially true for people who hold a lot of love back. They're withholding love for the world because they're afraid to let the world know that they have so much love within them, because it's scary to love and not necessarily have it returned. And I wonder if we're withholding this love and it's bulking us up. So I don't know if it's true or not, but I wanted to share this piece of the puzzle um, for you to consider. And yeah, I look forward to finding out more about, what the wisdom is that you hold in your body and what information would just lighten your load to release onto paper, write it down, or share it in other sorts of ways. But this is the good stuff we're sharing. the most beautiful, beneficial information. It's also the information that we might be afraid of touching into. We're going to get to all of it because that's how wisdom is created, by stepping into that which we fear and to acknowledging and embracing the best parts of ourselves, acknowledging, embracing the love within us that we have to share to give. All right. Thanks so much. We'll be in touch soon.